Welcome to Q&A, Social Security Disability Today. This program is brought to you by the Reeves Law Firm, representing you and your Social Security and disability needs. If you have a problem or questions regarding Social Security and disability, call attorney Anthony Reeves. Is your host, attorney Anthony Reeves.
Tips for helping you prove that you're disabled. Things that you can control. Now, this is going to sound silly, but this is a few things that I wanted to share for persons who are trying to prove you're disabled. There are some things that you can control. And when I say things you can control, what are some of those things? Let's go down the line. First of all, you can control what you tell Social Security. When you get those forms from Social Security, it is very easy to gloss over them and give very short answers. How does your condition affect your ability to do things? I'm in pain. Now think about that. I am in pain. You're going to wait 2 years finally to go through the whole disability process, and the best you can tell Social Security about how your condition is affected is that I am in pain. That's it. You can't tell them nothing else. When you're filling out those forms, be detailed. Let them know. Remember, they don't live with you. They don't know how you get down in your home life. Your responsibility is to let them know how your condition affects them. And if you don't tell them in any detail, how are they going to know? Okay? Secondly, go to your doctors. Listen, anytime you have a hearing before a judge, and I always talk about things from the standpoint of going before a judge, I always tell people, be mindful that the judge knows what resources are in your area. So guess what? If you live in a county that has a free clinic, and then you go before a judge and say, I can't get any medical treatment, and they know there's a free clinic and you haven't gone there, guess what? They're going to use that against you, more than likely. So use the resources that are available. Try. Even if you can't afford anybody, or you've got to share cost, or you're trying to do this, that, whatever. Give it your best effort to get the treatment that you need with regard to your condition. Number 3, tell your doctors what's wrong. Don't go before the judge and didn't want to dump on the judge all these problems that you have. Don't wait until you go before a judge to bring these things to the judge's attention. Tell your doctor so they can document them. If you're having problems with dizziness, don't keep that information to yourself. Lightheadedness, bumping into things, falling, queasiness, burning sensation. If these are things that are causing you problems, why would you keep that information to yourself? Share that with the doctors so they can treat the condition, and more importantly, they can document that you have brought that information to their attention. And then keep on trucking. Okay? 4, do what the doctor tells you to do. Do what they tell you to do. If the doctor tells you to stop smoking, it ain't not saying phase it down or I'm weaning down. They said stop. S-T-O-P. Stop. Red sign. Don't do it anymore. If they tell you to exercise, if you know that your condition affects your ability to exercise, ask for the doctor to give you tips on what can you do to exercise in light of the problems that you have. Trust me when I tell you, they have some suggestions. Do not sit there and walk out the door and say, well, I can't do nothing because, he's telling me to exercise, or she's telling me I need to walk around, do more, lose weight. But I got problems, like my knees hurt. I'm like, you better talk to that doctor about how to work around that, because the doctors, last time I checked, they're the ones with the medical license. They can explain to you how to get around those things. Okay? 5, know where the problems areas may be in your case. Now, sometimes those are not really easy and readily identifiable, but let's talk about these things for a second. Like, people ask me, Attorney Reeves, what are the problem areas that typically pop up? Non-compliance. What's non-compliance? You're not doing what your doctor says. Like, let's say the doctor tells you that you need to change your diet, and all of a sudden it looks like your diet hasn't been changed. Well, if you're living on a fixed income and you're in a household of 4 and you're relying on food stamps, and buying fresh produce takes more money than maybe getting something cheaper, which can last longer, you made a financial decision for the household that unfortunately is to your detriment. You got to be prepared to explain those things. Have you used drugs in the past? You got to be prepared to explain those things. Are you still smoking? Got to be prepared to explain those things. Is there a break in your medical treatment? You were going for a period of time and then you stopped and then you didn't get back in until months later. Why? Be prepared to explain those things. All of those things are little things that can help. So, in keeping in mind this, these are little things. And this is the thing when I tell people, people don't realize these things cumulatively hurt. Okay? And what I mean by hurt, I mean filling out the forms, getting medical treatment, telling the doctors about all your problems, doing what the doctor tells you, addressing those problem areas. Those are little things that you don't realize impact your credibility greatly. Because at the end of the day, the only thing the judge has to really rely on is your medical records and what you have to tell her or him. If they don't think you're credible, they're not going to give a lot of weight to some of the things that you're saying. You want them to give weight to the things that you're saying. And those are some things that you can do to help prove that you are disabled. Okay? And then finally, find out if your doctor is willing to write a statement on your behalf. People, a doctor saying you're disabled means absolutely nothing. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. A doctor saying my client's disabled doesn't really mean a whole lot. Now that's going to be nasty, and I'm pretty sure there's different jurisdictions kind of look at this differently and so forth, depending on where you're at, whether you're on the west side, east, northeast, midwest, and southwest, whatever the case may be. But I'm going to tell you this. A doctor's statement giving your diagnosis, your limitations, what medical evidence is relied upon to support those limitations, and the reasons for that would go a long way as opposed to just saying, oh yeah, I treat this person and they're disabled. Doesn't really tell the court much. But those are the little things that you can do to help prove that you're disabled.